Hey there, it's Heather. I find myself getting a little attached to these quick little chats we've been having. I think I like being able to reach you directly whenever things are on my mind. Today, I'm checking in with you because I have a pretty cool story that I wanted to share with all of you. Did you know that I wrote a book? Of course you didn't, because until last month, I had forgotten that I had even written one. I'd gotten this text message from my husband asking if I still had the link to the book that I had written, and initially I had no idea what he was even talking about until I remembered, oh yeah, I did write a book. More specifically, during the pandemic, I had written an ebook, Simple Scripts for Saying Hard Things. It had always been one of my beliefs or feelings that oftentimes people really do know their boundaries. They know what's okay with them, they know what's not okay with them, but they have no idea how to communicate those things to other people. That's why they end up tripping up and freezing and finding themselves saying nothing. I had thought that if I collected a bunch of common scenarios that people find themselves in, whether or not it be in life, in love, or in work, and then I gave them sample scripts for those conversations, people would have an easier time communicating and speaking up. My husband had been asking me about it because a coworker of his had purchased the book, lost the link, but she was looking for it again because she had found it really valuable. I wasn't even sure that I had the book in my current computer, but I went looking for it and I found my 2020 self staring right back at me. No wonder I had buried the memory of writing that book. My 2020 self had really failed. I had leapt, I went big, and I fell loudly and soundly. I failed and fell so hard. Poor 2020 Heather. By that time, I had already spent 5 years trying to connect with people about the things that I cared about. Healing from the things that hurt you, recognizing that you can't control what's happened to you, but you could control what you do in response to what's happened to you. I had tried life coaching, I had tried mindset coaching, and I had tried leadership coaching. In 2020, my own business selling my own service was making exactly $0. And I had been contracting with another coach, coaching her clients. She was a love and relationships coach and was making millions of dollars selling her signature program to clients. And I had coached her clients to her system. I was a freaking love coach, my friends. I had been filled with so much shame helping someone else build their dream instead of building my own. Now, the pandemic gave us all so much time, and I had had all of these ideas that I cared about and nowhere to put them. None of my own clients I could help them with, so I did what other people were doing at the time. I created an online course helping people get unstuck. I knew a lot of people got stuck because change often requires including other people in the changes you're making, and conversations like that can be really hard to have, so then I ended up literally writing the book on how to have them. Then, because I had no following at the time and no one knew who I was, I went all in on Facebook ads trying to sell the darn things. After spending hours and hours on the course and the book, I ended up piling on dollars and dollars trying to sell the darn things, and again, just came up empty. My whole Daring Greatly thing started out with this idea that maybe I could help people outside of my little small town in Massachusetts. But for 5 years and counting, the only answer that was ever coming back to me was that that wasn't true. My ideas, the things I cared about, they didn't connect. They weren't what people needed. And if they were any good, I wasn't the right person to be presenting them. I can't tell you how much smaller I had made myself after that failure, how much I hid, and how many stories I created that creating an impact wasn't something that was meant for me. I rationalized so many things as I adjusted my dream of swinging for the fences. I know you have all come to care very deeply for Mother Mayhem and Daughters NPD. but I had returned to therapy with my tail between my legs. I knew if I returned to therapy that I had to do something differently, and that's when I had heard the whisper that the most meaningful conversations I had with my friends, the most meaningful conversations I had in my own work, and heck, the most meaningful conversations I had even had as a goddamn love coach, all had to do with helping daughters overcome painful relationships with their moms. That idea had come to me as a whisper, and thank goodness I listened because that whisper led to my private practice, Daughters NPD, being born. And then 6 months after that, the first episode of Mayhem dropped. We celebrate that anniversary in just a few short weeks on June 14th. So to say it was strange to go back hunting into my computer for that book would be an understatement. It was really, really far back in my rearview mirror, and because it had been connected to so much failure, I was a little bit afraid of what I would find. Imagine my surprise, though, when I opened up the darn document and I actually see me, us, all of us, in all of the conversations we have been having on Mayhem. Everything, guys, that I talk to you about every week, all of the ways that I try to help you with transparent communication, how I try to get you to respond instead of react, it was all right there. Me, you, us, what I thought, what I believed, how I like to help people. I had just been shooting my arrow in the wrong direction the entire time. The book, you guys, it's actually pretty good. I walk readers through conversations like asking for a need to be met, raising a disagreement, turning a yes into a no, sharing your feelings, asking for space, saying no, setting a boundary, holding accountability, and yes, even addressing toxic people. And that, my friends, is only the first chapter. The book includes 20 or so base conversations altogether. I cover the workplace, relationships, and I even go in and out of the bedroom. I honestly had forgotten that I had even gone there. Looking back at everything, I again just ended up feeling so sad for 2020 Heather. You want to know another thing that became instantly clear to me last month in 2024? I knew Clark back then. She knew how to do all of this online stuff back then. And I remember deliberately deciding not to ask for her help or her opinion back then because even though she knew how to do it better than I did, I thought it was something I needed to do for myself. I remembered all of that as I sat with 2020 Heather and told her that as lost as she felt, she was actually on the right path, thinking about the right things, considering the right things, and caring about the right things. She was just walking in the wrong direction. We talk a lot on this show about inner child work, but in that moment, I just did some inner 2020 adult work and told 2020 Heather that she did good. She had been enough and that her thoughts and ideas still mattered and could help people. Then 2024 Heather brought Wise Mind to the table and sent the book to Clark, and Clark helped me trim the fat and remove the BS. She reminded me that my content was my zone of genius and I should just let her use hers to do the rest. And who was I to argue? So, friends, thanks to Clark, we have simple scripts for saying hard things available for you. This is for those of you who wish that you could have some Heatherisms, as I've heard you call them, in your back pocket. If you need the words, I've got them. I've got you, and they're yours. Also, though, this is an opportunity for any of you who are looking to support Mayhem, to support me, and want to see Mayhem grow. If you have been wishing for that proverbial tip jar to offer support of the conversations we've been having and have wanted to thank me for the work I've been doing, I want you to know that I would consider your purchase of this book to be your sign of support for Mayhem. In all honesty, I would consider you to be a sponsor of the show with such a purchase, and I would surely be grateful. I didn't go and give Simple Scripts the mayhem treatment and make it all about you and your mothers because I know you guys can do that part for yourselves. Also, we all know that your mom isn't the only person you're going to need to have hard conversations with in your life, anyways. More so, 2024 Heather learned her lesson, and she knows that 2020 Heather already did enough. The content was good then, and it's good now. So the book is about 80 pages, close to 70 different hard conversations you might find yourself in, be it in life, love, or work. Clark helped me set the book up in a portal called Member Vault. You'll be able to create a login for it to access the book if you want that, but also hopefully it is a sign of things to come, a home for mayhem resources to come. So, yes, this is 2024 Heather grabbing the hand of 2020 Heather and saying, fixed it. Welcome to Simple Scripts for Saying Hard Things, and welcome to your invitation to sponsor the show with this purchase. You'll find the link in the show notes. You can also find it over at Instagram at DaughtersNPD. Before I even knew I was building a community of women around the world who were in this together, I was already in it with you. I was getting ready for you. I just didn't know it yet. Bye for now.